One of our group meetings was just really awesome. We had lots of people. We had someone there that hasn't been to anything that I can think of, and so it was just a really good time of us melding together as friends. We've connected a lot easier with our small group.
What did you think about the Sunset Terrace outreach that we did?
Oh, I thought it was so awesome. We got to play with all those little guys. They were awesome. Just seeing a church get together and do something new is always cool.
The 40-day study's been a blessing to me, and the thing that impacted me the most, I think, was the realization that when we work together to give or to minister to someone, it seems to go so much further. Through the quiet times, God has put different people on our hearts who are going through hard times, and it's been such a joy to have people to share those with in the small group and then to decide how we can minister to them together. I think God is opening my eyes to the needs of people around me and showing me that He can use us, even in small things, to bless and encourage others.
And I've got to do the youth, do a small group leader for the youth, and it's just been awesome to get to know those girls. There's 7 of them, and it's just amazing because every week they almost all show up, and just getting to know them and build a close relationship with them has just been amazing.
When Southside went out to Alcorn Park during the mission week, there was 2 girls out there and were just coming to get hot dogs, and apparently a lot of adults came to them and said, hey, you should go check out the Youth Wednesday Night Worship, and both those girls now, they came that night and they've continued to come for several weeks.
That we all need to be a little bit more loving towards each other, especially our fellow Christian people, and we need to try to reach out more to our neighbors.
I like the Alcorn Park because they've got a lot more students out there. Because I'm dealing with 5th and 6th graders, it got some of the people that usually don't come to Sunday, it got them to come out and eat and stuff, so I haven't seen them in a while, so it's good to see them again.
As guys, as men of God, we tend to not want to be open and honest with each other. We tend to kind of hide our faults and everything, keep them from each other, and being stronger together means that you have to be willing to be accountable to each other, and you have to be willing to open up to each other. By doing these small groups with just a group of guys, I feel like you can really grow closer together and really open up with each other. It's very important that we do that in order to really grow.
We should really be dependent on each other and try to do less things by ourselves. That's part of the joy of serving together, is being able to depend on each other for just different things in our lives.
We had no idea things would happen and turn out like they did, and a lot of lives have been changed, but being able to specifically be involved, well, I want to call it a miracle. I really think it was a miracle.
One of the best times, I guess, with the small group was when Danny and Gloria, their daughter was expecting a baby, and I had talked to Danny and found out that she had been born, but that she had fever and wasn't crying and was struggling. And
as Gail shared that little Eddie was born with 103 fever, my breath kind of left, and thought, God, you're going to work here. But as we started to pray, and specifically for a miracle with little Haley, everyone prayed. And there was a sense that God was just there and that He heard our prayer.
While one was praying out loud, everybody else was still praying, so there was just multiple prayers going in. It was really neat because we all prayed different prayers, but kind of the same thing too, and I can vividly remember several, just praying for a miracle, and I remember Jim saying, and God, we just pray for a miracle right now.
It's as if the baby never had a fever, and she said, I could hear her crying in the background on the phone, and I would have never thought of this, but Gail said, well, at what time did that take place? She says, well, it was about 2 hours ago, specifically when we were gathered together and praying for a miracle.
We do have a lot of needs, and we really do have a lot of areas that people can get plugged into.
Danny Vallejo is actually one of our Connect group leaders. One of his guys has been coming and invited 2 of his friends, and these are guys that have never been plugged into church before, never been in church. And they were sitting around the room just kind of sharing what's going on in their life, and both those guys kind of looked at Danny, looked at their friend and said, why didn't you tell us about this before?
And how do people make it that don't have church friends and support like that, you know, through prayer and encouragement.
Have you made new friends because of 40 days?
Yes, I have.
And what is something memorable that has happened to you during 40 days?
The friends I've made, the relationships that I have built and grown with my group, with the people in my group.
I mean, we were acquaintances before, and now that we've hung out during our group, we've, you know, become friends and we text a lot.
When you add all of our small things together, we can make a real difference.
I went home and called everybody on our in our small group and told them, and several were crying, and everybody was so excited. And you know, I said, it's so neat. We know that God does still perform miracles, but it's just extra neat when He lets you be a part of that miracle.